Uh, so that's I don't need that. That's essentially what this is all about. It's trying to. I like producing videos. I find it like if I almost find it naturally. It happens naturally for me. Just being able to have videos and talk to people one on one. I talk to people. I don't have a lot of content right as of like this day, as the making of this video. I don't have a lot of content right now. I have 3 videos posted, 4 videos posted, 3 of which were my single camera setup, and one of which is my new 2 camera setup, which I think is a lot better and is so much easier to edit because when one person's talking and they keep rambling on about something, you can just edit it right there and then cut to the next person on the next topic. It makes editing so much easier and also flows a little bit better. I'm still working on the editing part of it and improving my editing skills, but essentially, I love I love talking to people based on the emotional value, but also the logical knowledge. Wait, what do they believe in and why do they believe in it? And I don't like talking to people who are pessimists. I don't like talking to people who don't have that internal sunshine, but also that optimism. And I'm not talking about like toxic positivity where someone's like overly positive about everything and everything's like a sunshine and rainbows. I'm doing it in more like realistic positivity that life is the way it is, but it is so fascinating. There's the ups and downs, but it's like a nice gradual up that everything will be better, and that for whatever reason you selling everything, in the end of the day, it's not that important, right? Or not right. You may not agree with that. You may agree with that. There's there's 2 different ways that I look at life. There's the world it is, and then there's the world that has to be, which is I have to work. I do have to make a living, something that generates income, but I also want to do something that I love, something I just like. I wake up early or I stay up late, not because a teacher told me to, not because a school said this is the way it should be, or this is like you have to get this assignment done tomorrow, or you'll get an F. Because I don't think that's how the world works. The world works, in my mind, that if you want to do something and you want to do it right, you find something that you love and you provide people with so much value with what you like that they don't have any reason to look anywhere else. That they choose that product or that service because they invest in people. And this is what I learned from a commercial real estate agent of mine, commercial real estate investor, a friend of mine. He's like in his mid 80s, great guy. I really hope he's not watching this because he'll probably recognize that I'm talking about him. But he said that when he was talking to investors, talking to people to get money so that he can invest in companies or invest in real estate, that those people did not invest in the product; they invested in other people, and that kind of changed my mindset on a lot of different things, because I thought, you buy products, you buy services, but you also buy brands, you also buy the individuals. You go to like, let's take two different Starbucks brands or 2 different Starbucks locations. One is 10 minutes away and one is 5 minutes away. They make the same coffee, they have the same organizational structure. The if you want 2 pumps of vanilla latte with pumpkin spice, whatever, like they'll do the same thing, have the same product, but the one that's 5 minutes away doesn't have very nice people, and the one 10 minutes away, you feel welcomed every single time you get there. You'll probably drive that extra 10 minutes to have that emotional connection, but also have that enjoyment. That's like, it's not a lot to drive 5 more minutes, but I do feel happier at the very end. So you invest in, obviously you still go to Starbucks because 1, it's convenient, 2, it's reliable, and 3, you go anywhere in the world, that Starbucks coffee is probably going to taste about the same. That's what McDonald's started at. That's why McDonald's became so big, is because being able to go anywhere and get the same food and know that it's going to taste the same, even though it's like full of high fructose corn syrup, even if it's not the best tasting, you know what it's going to taste like. It's the reliability, consistency, and in your case, probably the quality. Being able to provide something that's provides someone so much value that they choose not to go anywhere else. So that's what I try to do in my podcast. I try to provide you with more value than I am charging for. So let's say I was charging X amount of money, then I should be able to give you 3 times the amount of value out of it for the same price without me increasing the costs of production. So that's what I try to do. I try to use good microphones that sound very clear. Try to use cameras that get a good look, that have, I don't go for more of like the cinematic looks or the like, whoa, that's so cool. I try to give a very realistic look to the image, while also obviously simple color grading. Like what you see here is probably going to be a little more like I'll add a little bit of color saturation. The blues here might come out a little bit better. The browns might have like a nice darker tone or something like that. It's to give, the camera is the lens between your audience or you to me. And I'm not so much interested in making you look like a Hollywood, like making this look like a Hollywood thriller. More interested in giving a little bit of color to a realistic scenario. That's why I choose this camera, because Sony cameras compared to other cameras give a very natural look. And Canon cameras are really nice too, but they also have they have a little more pop, but I like the realistic look of things. I like if, let's say you were selling something or you're on the podcast and you're talking, chances are I would want to show you in the most realistic sense that you are. And the questions that I ask, the flow of information throughout the conversation is meant to showcase you, but also challenge my own thoughts. So you might say X, Y, and Z, and I'll try to compare that to A, B, C that I know. And then we kind of come into a consensus about what it is without me trying to like aggressively, trying to like push you down or trying to make you seem like someone who's not credible or someone who's like stupid or something. No. I always assume that I'm stupid, that between the two of us, I'm probably the dumb one. But if you're, obviously there's, I'm not saying that everyone's intelligent. I'm not saying that everyone that's going to be on the podcast is going to be the best. And I'm not saying that the video that we produce, if you decide to choose to try this out, I'm not saying that this is going to be something that will get published. But what I am saying is I'm not here to make this a political commentary or like one of those news channel, like news medias where they'll have someone on the opposite side of the political spectrum and they'll be grilling them down and saying like, you're wrong, fact check this, fact check that. The point of the conversation is that the people viewing it, your audience, your potential customers, will have to make the decision themselves. And that I'm not here to spoon feed people. I'm not here to provide people a unrealistic approach to the world, but rather that I want to show you in the best light that you come across as. And most likely I'm not going to send this to you, or I'm not going to even consider you if you're not someone that I can make a pretty good emotional connection with or be able to talk about things, because there's just a mindset that you need to, not to push other people down, but just to enjoy life. That there's a quote from Jordan Peterson: if you get what you want by telling a lie, then you're not smart enough to get it by telling the truth. And that's a quote I probably said in a bunch of other episodes, but that's essentially what it is. If I'm not smart enough to get these episodes out, that I can tell you the truth, then I'm doing something wrong. And I have the humility, I have the patience, and I know that this is not going to be the best video that I make. This is probably already too far. Like I probably extended this, this is already 20 minutes long, okay? Or maybe not 20 minutes final video, but so far it's been about 20 minutes. Overall, like the final thing, I don't want to drag this out forever. The point of the podcast is to be able to communicate with people in a way that's genuine, that's intellectual, but also makes that emotional connection. So it's the authenticity, it's the trust, and it's just the pleasure of knowing that I'm not the only one in the world that thinks the way I think. And now, I might not agree with everything that you say, but I do have the understanding that what you do say I could probably learn something from it, whether it's good or bad, whether I learn that, hey, that's something I want to do, or hey, I don't want to do that. I can learn something from everyone, and that's the intent of the podcast. There is the slight skewed part, the caveat, which is you're paying. Let's say you choose to use my services. You're paying me, so you do have some leverage, or you have a lot of leverage in what we talk about. So the money aspect of it, the payment is not for you to just showcase whoever you are, like what you want to get out of the podcast. It's more that you get the conversations that I like to do, and you get the license to use that for whatever you want to. But it doesn't detract from the main message of what I'm trying to produce as the podcast, which is conversations worth reliving, or stories worth reliving, stories worth telling, and stories worth hearing. That's essentially it. If that's something you don't want to do, that's fine. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who'd love to do it too, or love to do it with you. That just like a talking head, and that's fine. Like I'm not worried about it. I love what I do so much that if you don't like it, that's fine. Like that's all right. I'm not worried about it. So anyway, that's all I got. Yeah, just leave it at that. If you want to try it out, you probably already have my contact information. We'll just get something started. If you don't, that's fine too. I'll see you on the other side. Not death. Like I'm not gonna kill you or anything. Like other side, like somewhere else, something like that. Anyways, hope this was a good explanation. And I probably edited this a bunch just so it kind of flowed better. But I'll see you later. Or I'll see you in another episode or something like that. So, yeah. This forest is really nice. I wonder if I can... I'm just going to do like 30 seconds of the forest sounds just because it's kind of nice. So, I'm surprised that balances. If this falls, I don't know what I'm going to do.